Awful match we're going to talk about now.
Oh, I
Cameron
thought I,
versus
I thought you were just gonna end the segment after that.
just that should have been it. Just awful. All right, next part, Batista. One of these days I am going to do that. There's going to be a 5 second thing and that'll be it. But AJ Lee versus Cameron. This was their stall because Naomi's too injured to be able to have that match. I don't know if I trust the dirt sheet stuff that says Naomi was supposed to beat AJ Lee at WrestleMania and win the title. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I can't imagine them doing that. But Cameron gets a title shot, and they even introduced this awkwardly. They had AJ come out and basically say, like, well, Naomi's fucking injured, so I gotta do something, right? And then Cameron came out and danced by herself, which just looked awkward because we're so used to her dancing with Naomi, or at least having, like, Brodus
Who's
Clay.
Naomi? I only know Naoma.
Damn. This was just, like I said, this was awful. I don't know if there's anything else you can use for an adjective for this. This was terrible, just awful, and the interference with Tamina at the end, and the kind of tease that maybe they'll go with Tamina against AJ Lee at WrestleMania. Nobody cared. Nobody thought Cameron was going to win this, and just oh man, Peyton.
The only part that I really liked about this match is when AJ Lee went to the outside and grabbed the pom poms and
Oh.
showed her fucking awesome ass. That was pretty cool. Other than that, this was a total waste, as Divas matches tend to be, except for when they're on NXT. I'm just gonna keep saying that NXT was awesome.
Now, did you see that highlight, Wego, of the pom pom thing?
So I saw this really good match on NXT. Fuck me. I hate like. It's amazing how those two girls in NXT can be so good, and this match was so fucking abysmal. Ugh.
It really was, though. Like, this is, as much as I said the last part, that the Shield and Wyatt family is right now my top candidate for match, this right now is my top candidate for worst match of the year. And it's like one after another. If it ends up being that at the end, that's going to be really surprising because it'll be like we went from literally the top of the year to the bottom of the year in a 10-minute span.
And I mean, there's so many good Divas matches like Melina Fox and Melina and Alicia Fox that I just wish it could compete with that, but no.
I'm sure she was watching that tape over and over before this match too, so I don't know. I don't know where it went wrong.
I mean, Cameron needs to stick with Total Divas, stick with tag team stuff, and
You know who's to blame? Fucking Axana for destroying Naomi's fucking eye before this, and that's why she was out of it.
yeah, Naomi's not bad. Naomi can actually kind of wrestle, but Cameron, she's not pulling it off. Hopefully, this is the last that we see between these two, and I'm hoping right now we don't even see a Divas match at WrestleMania. I don't want to
I,
see Tamina versus AJ, and I don't want to see Naomi versus AJ after WrestleMania, the night after WrestleMania even. Perfectly fine, but
I,
it's going to eat up time.
What
I
about
just,
AJ versus that ESPN bitch?
yeah, I'd be okay with that.
That might be okay.
I think I suggested that a while ago, but shit, maybe they can put him backstage and just like have her insult CM Punk again and watch him brawl.
Maybe they'll bring her on to insult CM Punk now that he's left. I wouldn't put it past them. They've done shit like that before.
I'd love for fucking like Vince or someone to come out after the Davis match and be like, "Okay, our bad."
What if they rush Emma there though?
I hope that they don't.
Emma's like, it's the first time I've seen her wrestle a real match though, and she's really good. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, but I am not liking where they're taking her character on Raw right now.
Maybe they'll change it after NXT.
Maybe she beats up Santino. If that's where this is going, then awesome.
Maybe she like does that fucking dance and blinds him with her fingernails or some shit. Pokes him in the eye or some shit.
She's gonna use that stupid hand movement, and it's gonna be like knife edge chops, and they're gonna like really, really hurt whoever she's going up against to the point where they're gonna just like push her into the title picture because like that's the finishing move that nobody can get past anymore.
Okay, we're never allowed to book fucking anything.
We're talking about what stupid crap they might think of. I think as much as people have beaten this down, and I have not watched, every episode of NXT and all that. I'm not as familiar with Paige as everybody else is, it seems. But an idea that I've heard from other people that I thought might be kind of cool would be just showcase the NXT Divas title and this Divas title on the normal roster and just fucking go for it. Just have AJ Lee versus Paige. Why not?
It's not a bad idea, actually.
Doesn't need to be a title match. You don't need to have like title versus title. You don't need to have a unification or anything ridiculous like that. Just, have AJ Lee say, look, I've beaten every single woman on this roster. There's nobody here to fucking beat me. And then Paige can be like, hey, I'm in NXT. I'm the fucking champion there. I'll beat your ass. And then there you go. You got your match.
Yeah, the problem is we're more likely to get something that's going to be revolving around Total Divas.
Probably. We'll probably get fucking, what's her name? The
redhead, yeah.
Eva Marie. Like Eva Marie against AJ Lee or something like that.
Yeah, none of us know her name. We're just all thinking like, yeah, that fucking redhead talentless bitch.
Either that or we're going to get some kind of like a tag match or whatever, which if they can't think of a singles Divas title match that's good enough for it, I think that they should just either abandon it completely or they should have some kind of like a mixed tag match.
It's a shame.
Fine last year when they had the pre-show idea of doing the Bella Twins and what was it, Rhodes and Sandow against
Funkadactyls and Tons of Funk.
Yeah, that would have been fine. Of course, that would have been fine if they would have had Pyro, but
yeah, America the Beautiful. There's lots of things we said they should have had. It's almost a shame that Eva Marie cannot work worth the shit. If she could just like moderately work enough to have a passable match for 5 minutes, I think she would have been excellent to have go into WrestleMania to face AJ Lee. Have AJ Lee become not necessarily a face, but a tweener that people are more going to cheer and capitalize on all that heat that Eva Marie had the last couple months that I'm sure is gone by now. But there was a lot there that could have been taken advantage of, and they didn't. And I'm sure the reason for that was because she was so green.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll kick back up when Total Divas starts, because that's in like 2 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually going to play a big part in it too. And the only other thing that I could see maybe happening, and this is a real long shot because it's only like a month away, maybe Summer Rae gets a shot because she's the newbie to the whole Total Divas thing. But that's turning her baby face or turning AJ face or, there's different things like that. I don't think that they're necessarily going to go that route. I think we're getting Tamina versus AJ Lee at WrestleMania, and that's about it.
Summer Rae cannot be a baby face. That's just not in her character. She's way too bratty.
I haven't seen her try to be a babyface, but she's doing a good job as a heel, so why change it? You know what I mean? Just keep Cameron out of here. That's the main thing we're coming down.
And would that mean you'd have to turn Fandango face too?
Maybe, but he could pull off being a face, I think.
Oh, I think he could. I'm just saying, would you have to, or could it be like a situation where she's heel with him, but then when she comes out by herself, she's babyface? Because they've done stuff like that before.
I don't know if they'd be able to pull that off.
I can always just give him another fucking dancer.
Oh, bring back Round Face.
No,
lie. I was watching WrestleMania 29 the other day because I was at my friend's house who I went to it with, and we just wanted to like watch it on the screen as opposed to how we watched it from our seats. And it got to when Fandango was coming out, I was like, oh my God, I miss this girl. She was so much classier looking, and she was a better dancer at the time when Summer Rae first came. Summer Rae was awful, but she's gotten a lot better, so I can't judge her as much on that. But Summer Rae just looks like such a blonde tramp. My one friend calls her Tinkerbell because she just has that bratty, crossing her arms attitude. I liked Round Face. I miss her.
I'm okay with Summer Rae.
We want Round Face.
Anybody have any other thoughts about AJ Lee and Cameron?
Oh God, no! I forgot we was talking about that shit.
You were talking about Summer Rae and Round Face. What the crap?
One other thing to mention real quick before we go into Batista versus Del Rio, just a stupid little thing to throw out there because why the hell not? They had a stupid backstage thing with Santino and Emma, Kali, and the Los Matadores playing with those stupid little action figures. Why do they do these? Does that really sell? Does that like make a difference?
Well, the thing is, we could look at it like that, but I think the kids do see that and do get excited about it.
I don't know. See, when we were watching and like we were kids and everything,
You didn't want everything. You didn't want the Brawlin' Buddies. You didn't want the
No.
Jax action figures. You didn't want WWE the music. You didn't want all that crap because I sure did.
No, I wanted like
You didn't want Crossfire. You didn't want all the other
Crossfire
things there was
was
commercials for. Like,
well, Crossfire is awesome just for the theme
Yeah.
song. But
Payton actually wants these. That's why he's like jumping to the defense. He's got a whole wall full of them in the background.
he
Well,
just
not
placed
necessarily
an order for
now.
the stacker things or whatever they are.
like I'm just saying, when I was a kid, all these commercials just looked awesome.
When he said he was taking out the trash earlier, he really meant that he was reorganizing his action figure collection. But no, I mean, I used to own, all of the fucking action figures that I could, and I had an old ring from, the generation of action figures before the ones that were coming out around my time. But a lot of the other little gimmicky things, I had no interest in it whatsoever. Like, these little things where they're flipping around and, you press a button and they just, like, jump up in the air and all that, I always hated that crap. And showing the wrestlers backstage playing with them, that never really made me want them either. It was just kind of like, I want to play with the action figures because I love action figures and I love wrestling. Like,
But did you see what the new ones are? They're like Legos. That's awesome. Legos and wrestlers. I wonder if they actually will work with your Legos too. Probably not, because I know Legos has that design patented.
yeah, they probably are like those. What are they?
They're like
the
just
Play-Doh or
too big where
whatever.
they won't stick together.
Right. Just to piss off little kids.
Like they look like they will if you look at them, but nope.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was just one of those little things that I kind of expected that we would see something like that at WrestleMania, maybe. But if they can get it out of the way with that one at Elimination Chamber and do something better at WrestleMania, I'm all for it. Throw a Bad News Barrett thing out there instead, or do something for the network, or I don't know, anything like that. Next part, Batista versus Alberto Del Rio, and then we've got two other things to talk about: the Elimination Chamber match and the Fantasy League.